Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. Today's video, CBDCs, the amazing topic, central bank digital currencies. Guys, this is very interesting. This was literally out yesterday, taken from Business Wire. Groundbreaking swift innovation paves way for global use of CBDCs and tokenized assets. Now, the last bit being quite interesting in general. What I like about this, guys, is we've been talking about CBDCs for a long time. Many people disregarded it or didn't think it was possible or even real. We are in a stage right now, guys. If you remember the video a while back we did on RTGS, the replacement of the RTGS system, which incorporates the essential replacement of SWIFT and the likes of CHAPS, all these existing banking systems that have been around for decades, being replaced with a new system defined by DLT and blockchain technology. Guys, we're on the brink of something very unique here in terms of the economy, in the way that the world works, how we get paid, how we use our money, and also potentially if you even get your money or not based on your behaviors and what you do and don't do. This is the dark side of CBDCs. Of course, there are good aspects in the sense of removing things like potential money laundering, fraudulent activity, and any other things like that, because money will be fully traceable, trackable, processed, verified. But yes, of course, there are some dark sides to it as well. The phenomenal thing in our previous videos was the time frame, the time scale, which we actually ironically pulled out the latest one from the NatWest ISO 20022 planogram. Now, it's a bit blurry. I think they could have done a bit of a better job to make this a bit more clearer. But we did post this several times before. I'm sure you've seen it many times before as well. So we have here conclusively the new pilot platform near live-like testing environment. This was in June, literally a couple of months ago. As of November this year, most banks, particularly here in the UK, will be on the beginning stages of utilizing the migration period, guys. This is absolutely crazy. So by next year, most of the tests will be done. And as you get further down the line into November 2025, the full new address and remittance servicing will be in play, guys. This is the whole new banking and financial system worldwide. Now, back to this news report. Look at this. Globally, 9 out of 10 central banks are actively exploring digital currencies. For the potential CBDCs to be fully realized across borders, these digital currencies need to overcome inherent differences to interact with each other. Now, we have covered multitude of times through BIS, for example, Project Jura, Project Helvetia, Project Dunbar, the list goes on, of all the different combinations of banking systems around the world, particularly one of the recent ones being between France and Belgium. Can't remember the other country, I think it was Switzerland, to see if those cross-border payments were trialed correctly and certainly worked very well, because the further trials happened in other areas around the world. This is going to speed up transactions, guys. It's going to remove fees. It's going to remove exchange rates. Everything you could possibly think of that costs loads of money in current systems of finance, whether it be trade finance, private sector, or public sector. It's about to change completely, guys. Even here, mentioning about the ECB, so this is European Central Banks, taking on governing councils to portray their plans for the new remittance remuneration systems of CBDCs. This is so exciting to see. Potential fear at the same time of what is to come, but we pull this back because even in this article, it's filled with numbers. SWIFT, in collaboration with a multitude of CBDC to CBDC transactions between different DLT networks based on the popular Quorum and Corda technologies, as well as fiat CBDC flows between these networks. Guys, this is huge. 14 central and commercial banks, including Banque de France, Deutsche Bank, Bundesbank, HSBC, Intesa Sanpaolo, NatWest, SMBC. I'll be here forever listing all these out. But the point being, guys, is that this is phenomenal. Big, humongous collaborations and integrations with the likes of Citi, Northern Trust, Settle, absolutely huge. The technology partners Swift exploring 70 scenarios simulating market issuance and secondary market transfers of tokenized bonds, equities, and cash. This is phenomenal. Look at this. The World Economic Forum, we talk about this all the time, guys. We talked about this ages ago. And finally now, proper news channels are picking up on this. The World Economic Forum is estimated it could reach $24 trillion by 2027. Market liquidity, fractionalization, we talked about this just a minute ago. Cross-border payments, the reduction in exchange rates and all these things as well. Think about the investment market, the trade market. We look at the Trada token coming out recently from Trade Tech and the usage of Corda. Corda for me is phenomenal. We look at all the type of projects related to Corda, for example, Quant, for example, Zinfin, to name a few. These systems are in place. The conversation relating heavily as well to the fact of ISO 200-2022, the compliance, the standardization of this new monetary system, guys. The cooperative, which connects more than 11,500 financial institutions, 4 billion accounts across 200 countries and territories. This is phenomenal. This is going to change the world. The banks here in the UK are spewing out the information right now. We covered this one about NatWest a while back, giving out leaflets to their small and large business enterprise customers. I've seen it in the flesh. Friends of mine who have NatWest banking on a business level have been given documents around this new aspect of language and remittance software or standardization, whatever you want to call it, for this. The replacement of the CHAPS and the SWIFT systems that we know today. It goes on. The European Central Bank, building on strength, the role of public and private sectors in the digital euro ecosystem. Think about things like Zinfin, where they have public and private solutions. This is going to be very imperative, guys. This is all within the last couple of weeks as well, leading up, as I said, to November this year, starting the full piloting trials. And in fact, if you go onto HSBC through the ISO 200-2022 compliance documents, I can't play this unfortunately because of copyright, but you can sign up yourselves and listen to this. There's humongous information and webinars going on right now about all the different planograms, the different time frames, all the different things that they're going through. And in fact, the first couple of slides were absolutely brilliant to go through. They went into full depth that the fact that they had been piloting in one country, didn't name it, but they've been piloting in one country, is very successful. The trial ends in a few months' time, or a couple months' time, towards the end of this year, leading into November. This is phenomenal. This is happening in front of our eyes. Barclays, ISO 200-22, migration timeline. People thought I was making this up when we were talking about November 2025 as a date. Here we are. November 2025, the new MX messaging system, the remittance system being replaced. UK CHAPS transitioning even earlier by April 23. Europe, USA, slightly further out. SWIFT, Barclays themselves being finished at the same time. EUR payments changed from November 2022 and completed by November 2025. November 2025. Note the need to support mandatory requirements. It's all here, guys. This is crazy. We are on the brink and so early in some of our investments in some of the projects, like Quant, Hedera, Zinfin, Ripple, XRP, Stellar, XLM. Bank of England, summary of changes to the bank's ISO 200-22 migration announced in January. Back in there, that's where we go back to the latest mapping system here that all the banks are now adhering to. HSBC, new language of payments, the new standardization towards CBDCs. Incredible. All these articles are relatively new as well, particularly this one, the adoption. What FIs need to be ready for. This is where you watch the replay and it takes this webinar. I fully recommend watching it and listening to it. Absolutely brilliant. JP Morgan, huge financial institution, faster payments automation. It's happening in front of our very eyes. So when we talk about the projects, guys, here's some more information even from 2015 This is when it all started beginning as a conversation, in terms of like the MX aspects here. This is what we want to learn more and more about. We need to start learning about what MT means, what MX means in terms of the messaging services. These are all back from 2015, okay? This isn't about CBDCs, it's about the remittance systems that are currently in place and how the markets work, how messaging works, how a transactions verification and processing works. Some of these guys take like 5 to 7 days for a transaction to officially go through. It may look like it goes straight through on your bank, but it can take up to 7 days in most of these aspects. Blockchain will reduce this to seconds, if not milliseconds. So it's going to be absolutely amazing to see this development, guys. Absolutely phenomenal. I wanted to bring this topic to your attention because in the bear markets, we are given propositions and opportunities, guys, to get involved in some projects that we thought we perhaps missed out on even a year ago in the high races of the prices and things like this. We'll have the individual videos on the projects as always in the coming hours and days. But for me right now, this was to reiterate the point that we are very early. These projects are very early. It's exciting and there's still time. There's a small window here over the next couple of years before the big bull run as well, whenever that might be in these coming years, to take advantage. Because when people realize in the general public, oh, CBDCs, oh, how does this work? Blockchain, what's that? They jump in. This is where we get the mass adoption, guys, and mass utility and mass usage. I'm bringing this to your attention because I want you to understand this more and more. CBDs are coming whether you like them or not, whether you like it or not as well. The fact of the matter is this process is already in play. November this year, literally a month away, everything is piloting. Every bank you can possibly think of. Back to this point on this article, we're talking about significant companies, organizations, financial institutions taking part in this. Yes, we might have to have a decision in our minds of the path that we take, whether we use centralized or decentralized systems. The argument is that centralization will always probably win because of the society that we are in as a system. But we must be aware of these systems coming so that from our investments perspective, we make the right choices in where we are investing. It's time to get serious, guys. Time to understand this more and more. Bringing this to your attention. If you haven't known about it before, you know about it now. Get your education hats on. Learn more. We'll be with you guys all the way. We'll see you in the next CBDC related video, guys. This is huge. Absolutely huge. And it's on our doorstep. 99% have no idea. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.